Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Gage Peart, and I'm Executive Vice President of Family First Life Enhanced Foundation, and I'm super excited for you guys to tune into this training because I have a good friend of mine, Cassandra Carder. And a little backstory about Cassandra Carder. I remember the first time I met her was at annual convention in Las Vegas in 2020, and I just remember this little girl sitting there typing up a million words a minute. But it's really cool to see her progression in this business, guys, and I won't steal her thunder. But last year, Cassandra was able to help out 412 families in 2021, earning herself that coveted red jacket and hitting Family First Life's Hall of Fame. So, guys, if you guys can please help me give a warm welcome to my good friend, Cassandra Carder. How are you doing today?
I'm doing so good. So good to be here.
Awesome. It really is cool to see the progression of this company, of your business, of my business, and really to see where we're at. I mean, it's basically 2 years ago when we first originally met, and we really both, I think, feel like we got in this business just to escape the W-2 world, not knowing what this would take, where it would take us, or what we would build in a short period of time. And I know not only are you personally producing, but you've earned yourself your own agency, your own logo. Yeah. And what is the name of your agency?
It's FFL Longevity.
Longevity. I love that. She's in it for the long run, right?
Totally.
And I think that it takes a special individual to not only produce at a high level, but it also takes a special individual to be able to build a team and help coach agents to be successful and to sell at a high level. And what earning your own logo means is that your agency has helped 100 families in a month. And then you get your own brand and everything. So how has that been for you? Being able to have that own brand, your own team, your own logo, like how has that been for you?
It's been really incredible. And honestly, I get more excited when I help one of my agents help a family and in return help their own family, help them, build their life with their family, pay their bills, their mortgage, all that stuff. I mean, it's a really crazy feeling to know that you're not only building something for yourself, but you're helping other people build something for themselves.
I think you hit it on the head, Cassandra. I could help a ton of families in a day, and it gets me excited, but there's no better feeling than when you see an agent that you brought in this business help a family because you know the perseverance that they had to go through, the effort that it took to get there, and that huge morale win for the agent. I'm screaming. I know, hyped.
Me too. I've been in the car. I've been in the car driving around to my appointments. My agents call me. We help them out via phone call because all of our new agents call us. We're on the phone all the time with our agents. And they're like, they call me back. Hey, it's in, it's done. I helped the family. And it's just like in the car, so excited.
And the feeling never gets old, I promise you.
It doesn't.
I mean, as you scale your business and your team gets bigger and your agency grows, that feeling never gets old. And that's what keeps my drive going and keeps me wanting to continuously get better as a leader is being able to help more agents win at a higher level, in return helping their family win at a higher level and really break the norms of what society has really conformed us to as far as income that you can make and the impact that you can make in your community, within lives. And that's what really drives me is the impact that we're making not only on our clients, but also our agents and really instilling confidence, seeing those breakthroughs. And that's what really gets me going. But really what I wanted to dive into today, Cassandra, is it takes a special individual to be able to help 400 families in a year. Because I can't say I ever have. I haven't, guys, so Cassandra's better than me. So take your pencils out.
It's not true.
Get your pencils out. Get your notes ready because she's going to give you some real good tips and tricks for you to be able to help families at a high level. But really, like looking back into it, doing some reflection on your year last year, like can you kind of explain to whoever's watching here the type of effort and commitment that it really takes to be able to help 400 families in 12 months?
Well, when people ask me that, it's kind of a whirlwind, right? you don't realize it until you're in it. And the commitment grows. You know, when you have a relationship with somebody, you don't start off right off the bat and say, hey, let's get married. You know, it grows into that commitment. So I think sitting down and planning out your year, because the commitment is great, but if you don't have a plan behind your excitement and your devotion, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. So I had to, not at the beginning of the year, which is one of my faults that happened, is I ended up being really close to not hitting Hall of Fame because I didn't plan out my production every month at the beginning of the year. So I was real close, cutting it real close. And I had to help 60 families the last month to hit it.
And that's commitment, because I've never helped 60 families in a month. And I've done 50, and I know the type of effort and commitment and time that it takes to help that many people in just 30 days. But I think that you said some very key things that people have to understand, is like it becomes a part of you. It's not like you're just going to come out and just rip it out the gates and help a ton of people. Like, you're going to learn the skill set, and then you're going to elevate the amount of effort that you're putting into your work schedule and your work week to really excel at that high of a level. So when you say that it took some time to like plan out, when it took time to plan out like your schedule, like what does that look like? Can you kind of elaborate on what planning out your year or your production looks like?
Sure. So what it really looks like logistically is you need to plan out your time. So I've really utilized time blocking in my Google Calendar. Okay, this block of time from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. is for me to work out. From there, 7 to 7:30, I'm making myself some breakfast or usually coffee. And, 7:30, I might take a call, like a recruiting call or a call from an agent. And then at 8 a.m. on Mondays and Thursdays, I'm dialing. But from a bird's eye view, because that's micro, right? There's micro disciplines and there's macro. So you have to first manage the micro, because that's what's going to get you to your macro goal, your large goal. So managing those disciplines throughout the day of dial days, run day, dial day, run day, or, in my case, I was running on Sundays too. I was running every single day I could. And then from there, once you understand a micro level, and if you don't know, get with your manager. And if your manager is not giving you what you need, go to their manager and their manager and their manager. And that's something that a lot of people don't hit on in the industry, is that some managers don't give their agents what they need.
And it's up to you, really.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, people can play the blame game in this business that their manager, upline, whatever terminology you want to put on it, doesn't help them or isn't there for them. But
make a connection.
Yeah, there's people in this industry, especially Family First Life, that are starving to try to help somebody, because in turn it helps them become a better leader or a better trainer. And that's one thing that I took to heart, Cassandra, is that anytime somebody asked me for help, I use it as an opportunity to become a better leader, a better trainer, because I didn't have 100 agents right out the gate. I had 10, then I went to 20, then I went to 40, then I went to 8, now it's over 100. Yeah. But like you when you're at that level of not having an agent or having a handful of agents, and maybe they're not working the way that you would like you should use every opportunity to become a better trainer or a better leader when you have that opportunity come knocking. And if you're in the other position where you're looking for help and you're trying to get better and you're not getting it, don't let the person who brought you into this business hold you back, because there's plenty of people in this company that are more than willing to help you out. So I think it's crucial that you take ownership of your business, and you take ownership of your success, and you take ownership of your progression in this business. Instead of playing the blame game, make it happen, because the people here who are the most successful, they build connections with other people than just the person that brought them in this business or just their manager. The people who have the biggest networks in the insurance industry have the biggest net worths in this industry as well. And I'm a big big fan of building relationships with others in this business and leveraging their experience, leveraging their resources, leveraging their knowledge to speed up your learning curve and the support.
The support is huge. I mean, I can reach out to people that are not directly in my business for help anytime. And if you do the same for their people, they're always going to do that for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I give it to them without any expectation of getting anything in return, because that's just the way that life works. But I do want to hop back into kind of structure. So having those micro disciplines hour to hour in your calendar are huge. Anybody that has had a lot of success in this industry will tell you that they're very scheduled and they're very disciplined with their schedule, and they try to clear off the white space in their calendar. And that's totally not me. That's totally Matt Smith. If you haven't heard of him, go to his YouTube. He's an incredible, incredible trainer. But from there, so I plan out my week, and then I look at my month in a bird's eye view. Okay, this day I'll be able to run, this day I won't be able to run, this day I'll be able to run. Maybe I'll have 3 run days in a row. So looking at your whole month and having run days, dial days, and off days are going to be very important, and also understanding how much you need to submit each week to hit your production goals. Okay, I need to help 5 families this day, 5 families this day, and 5 families this day. This day I'm going to take it off. So understanding your schedule from a large view is going to really help you. And if you're not writing down your numbers, you have nothing to go on. Nothing.
I think when we were at convention, Kevin O'Leary was like, you should go to hell if you don't know your numbers and you own your own business. Like, I don't know if we should go to those extremes, but at the same point in time, when you're running a business, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. Your numbers are the key ingredient to expanding, to growing, to scaling your business. And so I love the fact that you take an overview of your month, to look at your week, because preparation is key. When you're always prepared, you're always ready to succeed. But when you're trying to prepare last minute, it's very easy for you not to find the success that you're wanting to, because you're slowing yourself down because you're actually not preparing for anything. And the more you prepare, the more you're ready for anything to pop up or anything to happen.
An opportunity.
And yes,
ready to take it.
It's just being prepared and being structured and taking this business serious, and not just going from day to day, looking at it from week to month, and really scheduling yourself around your life. That's the beauty of being independent, is if you have some life event that you need to attend, or you're going somewhere that's like, you can make up that week with a key structure in your calendar.
Yeah, I remember last March around this time, one of my girlfriends, it was her birthday, and she said, hey, I really want to go to Lake Tahoe with you. And I said, okay, I gotta really bang it out this weekend then. And I helped 20 families in a weekend. Went and enjoyed myself for 3 days, Lake Tahoe. Came back, went straight back to work. So I knew I was going to be missing that production, and I made it.
That's awesome to hear, that you do get to control your life here. You get to decide when you work, when it's going to happen, but it has to come with a commitment of making sure that whatever you're attending or going to, like, you're going to make up in some way, shape, or form. And so really what I'd like to have you elaborate on, Cassandra, is a little bit about how that sales process went for you. I know you didn't just come out the park just knocking it out, hitting home runs and helping a ton of families. Like, what are, looking back, hindsight, what are 2 or 3 key attributes or things that you did to improve your sales in the home? Because you still run in the home too as well.
Oh, yeah. So all my production last year was in the home, except for 1 Zoom sale and 1 telesale the whole entire year. So for me, the first thing is going into the field with enough appointments, because I'm not anything special. It's not like I have some God-given talent for selling. I'm working the numbers. This is a numbers game. And I know that if I am going out to the field, no matter how good I am with people now, and I only have 5 appointments, I know that 30% probably won't show up because that's just the nature of the beast. I know that I'll sit with the rest. Maybe that's like, 3 to 2.
Yep.
And then even if I have a good closing ratio at 100% that day, that's only 2 sales.
Yeah.
It's not enough. So being good on the phones, that's the first thing. Booking enough appointments. Are you running 15 appointments every 2 run days? Or are you kidding yourself and running 5 appointments a week? Because if you are, you should just not be in this business unless you're part-time.
Yeah.
That's a different story.
Yeah, exactly. And so you said get good on the phones. Can you elaborate on what some things that you did to get better on the phones? Because me and you both sucked. When we started dialing
I
the phone.
sucked way more than Gage. Gage would be like, no, don't say that. Like, let's say it like this. I'd be like, okay, let's do it.
That's funny.
Used to sit outside Rob Richmond's office and just listen to him dial.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So that's how you get better on the phones. Like, listen to people that are good on the phones. Like, if you are dialing at home by yourself and not on a Zoom call, you are doing yourself a disservice. Because with technology these days, there's literally no reason why you can't put yourself in front of really successful people and just steal from them, right? Copy and paste.
Yep.
This business, you can literally cheat and be successful. Just take what they're doing and you do it now. So that's one thing. And then another thing I did was just become more structured and direct. So you are not customer service. I'm a doctor, they are the patient, and I'm the boss. And I know best because I have my insurance license and they've asked me over for help.
That's it. It's the mindset behind it. When you make the switch on the phones that you're not bothering somebody, you're actually trying to get a hold of them because they raise their hand and ask for help. It's a total mindset shift.
Let's do some phone script training.
Yeah, no, I'm completely down. I'll be your client.
Okay. Ring ring.
Hello?
Hey, Gage.
Yeah, who's this?
Hey, Gage, this is Cassandra. I'm giving you a call with regards to the mortgage protection card you sent in through XYZ Bank. You put down your date of birth here at 09/02/1990. Is that you?
Yeah, that's me. Are you with the mortgage company?
So they actually have me working with about 15 different carriers, and I just need to confirm the info you put down so I can get that mortgage protection information out to you. Now I have an address for you here at 123 Success Lane. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And I got a loan amount for you here at $190,000. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, great, Gage. So I don't see here that you have a co-borrower or spouse listed. Are you single, married, divorced, or widowed?
I'm single.
Understood. And are you working, retired, or disabled?
I'm working. I'm at work right now.
Oh, understood. I'll have you off the phone about 30 seconds. Do you work a typical 9 to 5, Monday through Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, understood. So they got me dispatched to your area, and all these programs are non-medical. Means there's no physical exam, there's no blood work, nothing like that. State of Texas has really simplified this for you. They just send me, the licensed field underwriter, to A, verify your identification, make sure that no one's requesting this info in your name. Also, quite frankly, Gage, make sure you're not strapped down to a hospital bed or anything like that.
Yeah, that's not me.
Okay, great. Now, I don't have anything right at 5 tomorrow, but I do have a 6 or a 6:30. Which one works best for you?
Is this going to cost me something?
No, I'm just the information gal. I just got to get this out to you. So I have a 6 or a 6:30.
Let's do 6:30. It takes me a little while to get home.
Got it. So go ahead and grab a pen and a piece of paper. I need you to write down my state license number.
I'm at work. I don't have a pen.
You're at work? Okay, no problem. So does this phone receive text messages?
Yeah, it takes text.
Okay, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to send you a text message. It's going to contain a photo of all of my credentials. And when you get it, just shoot me a thumbs up to let me know you received the message. Now, this 123 Success Lane, can I find those numbers on the side of your home, the mailbox, the curb?
They're on the mailbox.
Okay, I'm going to be driving a gray SUV. I'm very petite with dark hair, so you know it's me when I arrive. now, any gate codes or anything? Nothing crazy like that?
No gates.
Okay, perfect. I look forward to helping you out tomorrow at what time?
You said 6:30, I think.
Okay, yep, be there at 6:30. Bye-bye.
Perfect. So the thing about it, guys, is that one, she's confident because that comes with discipline and training. But two, she doesn't allow objections to phase her at all. The biggest thing I got taken away from that is she's prepared for those common objections. The reality of the situation is there's about 5 to 6 objections that you're going to get. What I personally would suggest if I were you is when you're dialing the phone, have a notebook, piece of paper, or just a piece of paper, whatever, and write down the objections that you're getting. And then you can look back at these common objections that you're getting, so then you can focus on overcoming them. Is that something that you did?
I did when I was new. I literally wrote them down by hand because for me, when I write it down with a pen, it just gets absorbed into my brain somehow. And I cut them out, and I literally taped them to my wall where I was dialing, so I didn't have to look through papers. I just had them right there to look at.
That's a money tip right there.
Yeah.
Because at your workspace or whatever, instead of looking down or whatever, just have it on the wall so you're looking up whenever you are already dialing. And then the tonality that she had is obviously very assertive in trying to get the individual off the phone very quickly. And once again, that doesn't just happen overnight. Like that comes with repetition, continuously showing up to dial days, continuously making the calls. And then all of a sudden, you have your cadence down and could say it in your sleep. Yeah. And that's what this is. Cadence, phone script, whatever it is. Like you could literally say it in your sleep. And so if you're someone new who's hopping script to script and doing this and trying to make it your own, stop that. Just stick to one script, stick to those word tracks, and memorize what you're going to say. Say it out loud to yourself. Say it out loud to a family member. Say it out aloud to your roommate, and annoy them with continuously put in that repetition, so then that way you can get better and you can become a better producer.
So it doesn't sound unnatural.
Yes.
Because if you say something so many times, it just feels so natural, and it feels natural to you, it's going to feel natural to the client. If you're uneasy, of course the client's going to be uneasy.
Yeah, it's all about the confidence in yourself.
Right.
Like if they're seeming like, who are you with, and you're still putting out those type of tonalities or vibes, whatever you want to call, like they're going to feel that. But when you're confident in what you're saying and you're confident in what you're doing, is going to be portrayed to the client that you are the professional and you do know what you're doing. So I appreciate you sharing your phone script, because that was great. Now, I think that the biggest thing is once you get to the home, it's about properly structuring the table and how the appointment's going to go. So can you kind of elaborate on how you set the table and explain to the client exactly what we're going to do today, and you're not going to be here for 3 hours and get to think about it?
That totally happened to me when I was first getting started. I was so sweet and so nice and talking about their cat and whatever else, the tile on the floor, I don't even know, for 3 hours. And then I leave at the home, not helping the family, doing them a disservice, and then, not helping my own family because I didn't get paid.
Exactly.
So what I do now is I go into the home, and I'm very polite, but I'm very, very direct. Shoes on or off, I direct myself to a table, I sit down, I pull out whatever type of lead it is, and I give it to them. And before I take any of my stuff out, I just say, hey, tell me a little bit about what you're looking for so I know how best to guide you. And that's totally Eric Schmidt. He's also an amazing trainer. Got that from him. And then I just shut up, because more than likely when you're new, you're talking too much in the home. You're telling instead of asking good questions.
And listening.
Oh, yeah, we're bad listeners. Listen, we're not good listeners. We want to hear ourselves talk, and that's just not how you help people in this business.
And it's actually the client wants to hear themselves talk. And
Totally.
when you ask the proper questions, you give them the floor to talk. And what in turn that does for you is it gives you ammunition to utilize throughout the appointment, because you can actually use their own words to overcome objections if you get them. But I think that if you properly set the table, you don't actually get any objections, and that really only comes with running enough appointments. And we like to preach your first 100 appointments are practice, and then you become the true professional. You've pretty much heard every objection in 3 or 4 different ways, even though there's only like 5 or 6. But people will spin it off one way or the other, but it's really those 5 or 6. So like, what are some things that you say in the home to prevent objections from coming later on throughout the appointment?
So the whole sale, in my opinion, is made at the first 3 minutes of the appointment. So they tell me exactly why I'm there. And, tell me a little bit about why I'm here, Gage.
Well, if I got sick or something, I just want to make sure I can stay in my house. I'm single. I don't have any kids. But I seen on there, like, if I got hurt or something, that this would pay off the home.
Okay. I hear you. So you just want to make sure that you're okay if you can't work.
Well, yeah, I mean, I love my house, and I just don't want to have to be forced to sell it or something.
Oh, okay. Got it. I understand. So what I'm going to do is here's my license, and also here's my driver's license. And if you would like to take a photo of my credentials for your records, you're more than welcome. But I'm going to explain to you the whole process. So we're going to go over a couple finance questions, couple health questions, not because I'm nosy, just because I want to know the best place you all can qualify for coverage. And I show them the credibility sheet with all the A-rated carriers that we work with. And that which is so cool that we get to work with so many carriers, because you can literally offer your clients whatever they need, what's best for them, what's best for their situation. So I show them and I say, okay, we're going to go a couple finance, couple health questions, not because I'm nosy, just because I want to know the best place you can qualify for coverage. You qualify with your age and your health. After that, we're going to run a quick MIB report, a medical information bureau report. I have one, you have one. Anytime you go to the doctor and you get prescribed any sort of medications or have any ailments, it's going to be on that report. From there, I'll have a better idea of what you can and cannot get qualified for. I can explain all the programs that are available to you. You can pick one that best suits your needs and your budget. It doesn't matter to me which one we go with. Then we're going to submit the request for coverage. That's a big key. Request for coverage. Application sounds so harsh to me in my opinion.
I'm in agreement with you there.
So we're going to submit a request for coverage. If they like you, with your age and your health and all that, medications, that's great. If they don't, that's okay, because I work with a lot of carriers. We could possibly pivot in a different direction. If they do approve your request for coverage, they will take the first payment in 2 to 4 business days, and that's a good thing. That means they decided to give you the coverage that you're requesting. And see how Gage is nodding his head? Because I'm nodding my head.
She's nodding her head. That's what you got to do.
So body language, and you get really good at that the more appointments you run. So
it's making the client become an active listener.
Yeah.
And that's a key component in the home is getting them to make sure they're actually listening to what you're saying, getting them to understand what you're actually explaining.
You're not telling. You're they're with you. You guys are doing this together. It's we.
It's education.
Yeah, totally. So they'll take the first payment, then they'll send you the policy in 7 to 10 business days. You can take a look at it, make sure that everything we discussed today is true and correct. And, Gage, you have a full month to up the coverage or down the coverage, but make any necessary changes you need to the policy. And, I also do annual policy reviews, so I'll come back in a year when we're all set up here and see if you need anything else. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Would you like to proceed?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, great. And so the client knows exactly what's going on. We're getting them coverage today. They're not confused. I'm not confused about why I'm here. If they're joking with me throughout the process, I'm very serious. I actually just had a client that I helped. She was 41 and he was 67. They're married. They obviously need the coverage. obviously. And, when I was showing them prices, that she was joking, and I said, ma'am, this is not funny. Because you have a 14-year-old daughter, you have many years to work, and your husband has not as many years to work. So what happens if you die? Your daughter still needs help, so I'm sorry, I just don't find this funny. They got really serious. They picked an option. We submitted the request for coverage. Now they're okay.
The big thing is taking control back. Whenever you feel like you're losing control in the home, that is pivotal for you as a producer to take that control back. And you have to go into your appointments understanding that you could be the last opportunity to make sure that their kids or their grandkids or their siblings aren't stuck with a GoFundMe.
Or even worse, some other agent that doesn't care about them comes with a product that doesn't do what they said it's going to do. What if somebody comes behind you and says, oh yeah, here's $200,000, but really it's an accidental? Then they're paying money out of their paycheck for something that's not going to do what they thought it was going to do. And it happens all the time.
It's very unfortunate, but in this industry, you will run into a lot of policies that are on the books, and families or individuals think they have one thing because that's what was told to them, but then when you actually do a review of their policy, they actually have another. So I think it's also pivotal whenever they tell you that they have some type of coverage that you get them to pull that coverage out, or you make a phone call to the company.
And I say it like this, oh, okay, do you have any current coverage, Gage?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and grab that policy. I'll need it for my report. And I just start writing again. Like, it's a part of the process.
I don't know where it's at.
Okay, that's fine. I have like 5 minutes. Can you go look for it?
I really don't know where it's at, Cassandra. I don't really feel like getting up and looking for it.
Okay, got it. Do you know what the name of the carrier?
I think it is XYZ.
XYZ. Okay, got it. And do you know the benefit amount?
I think it's $50,000.
Okay, and then what's the monthly payment on that?
I think I pay like $30.
$30, okay. And is it a term, whole life, or accidental?
I think it's a whole life.
It's a whole life. Okay, how long you had it?
Like 2 years.
2 years, and how young are you?
I am 37.
37, okay, got it. And so understanding that the client might not know what kind of policy it is. Okay, so actually when we are going to fill out the request for coverage, I'll need to list what kind of policy it is. So do you have like a bank statement where they take the money out, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Go ahead and pull up your bank statement so we can call them really quick.
It's key. That is so key, guys, that you figure out who the company is. Because I'll tell you one thing, Cassandra, the amount of times I got out of policy and how enormous it helped me with that sales process.
Yeah.
I can't put words on
Credibility.
And one, there's no more selling. The policy is done sold what you're offering them already. Because 8 out of 10 times, it's usually something that they thought was different than what they originally thought it was.
Yeah.
And now you're putting it into perspective what they have and then how you can benefit them. And there's not really a convincing or a sales process or anything of that nature. A lot of times they feel like they got screwed over.
Yeah.
Or two, they realize that their coverage is going to expire.
Never criticize a policy, though. Never. I'm just explaining I explain the policy to them. Did you know it did this? Did you know it didn't do this? No, we didn't know. Okay, it's not a bad policy, but I just don't think it does what you wanted it to do. And then I give it to them. Thanks for showing me that. And then I go back to doing whatever. I'll try to help you out with, something that does what you really want it to do.
That's money. And if they don't have the policy, the part of like figuring out what company it is and calling them, you can do that as an agent. Yeah. Hey, I'm sitting here with Bob. He says he has a policy with you. Is there any way we could look up his policy? We're just trying to look over his details here. And then the carrier will say, hey, are you with Bob? But you put it on speakerphone. Bob's like, I'm here. And then you figure out exactly what they have. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't believe those facial expressions that you'll see when they hear what they have.
I know.
It truly is amazing. But real quick, I want you to end on this. Like, chargebacks are part of this business, guys. Cassandra gets them. I get them. Everybody in the industry gets chargebacks.
100%.
What are some best practices that you do to cement or solidify helping that family and to make sure those policies stay on the books?
Sure. So when I end in the home, I always have a manila folder with me, and I have, brochures for whichever carrier we decided to go with. And on the manila folder, I write the company name, and then I write the policy number, I write the benefit amount, I write the price, as much information. I want their family member to come in and look at it and know what we did there that day, because I want to make sure that they know what's going on. I mean, this is important. This is their life coverage. So I also leave my personal phone number. I write my name. I write a little smiley face, your insurance agent for life. And then I write my assistant's name and number. I say, hey, she's going to be reaching out to you, making sure that everything's taken care of. You're going to receive your policy in 7 to 10 business days. And I don't play this game of you've been approved or not approved in the home. I tell them right away, because I'm running so many appointments that I do not have time to remember to call them 2 days later and say, oh, yeah, you've been approved, when they were really approved in the home. I'm like, you've been approved? Congratulations, you've been approved for coverage. It's so awesome, and I'm really excited. So I leave them that folder with all of my information, and they know exactly how to get a hold of me, and I answer the phone when they call.
That's the big thing right there,
Answer
guys,
the phone.
is answering your phone. I used to be scared to death to answer my clients' phone calls because I just thought they were going to cancel. But I soon flipped that switch, answer all my calls, and a lot of times they're just asking you a question. But if you don't answer, then you don't get back to them. That creates,
They get scared.
yeah, the insecurity, and then they don't want to do business with you.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's crucial that you service your clients. It's one thing to be able to help a family and get a policy on the books, but it's another skill set, and really where the fortune is made, to keep that policy on the books and get the month 10, month 11, month 12 pay. And if it's a permanent policy, getting year 2, year 3, year 4 of the renewals, the mailbox money that everyone kind of talks about. But I really appreciate you, giving back to the Enhanced Foundation group. And I really am proud of you for what you've done thus far. It's really impressive to see you come in, get really good at this business, and then now turn around and be able to teach people. So I'm just grateful to be in business with yourself, and I'm definitely proud of what you've accomplished thus far. And I'm excited to see what Longevity does in 2022, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Same here, Gage.